Okay, so you've seen your dog start shaking and your heart just drops, right? I get it. Your mind starts racing to all the worst places. But hey, take a deep breath. You're not alone. Why is my dog shaking is a huge question for pet owners. And believe it or not, the answer isn't always something scary. So let's get into it and figure out exactly what's going on with those shivers.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut right through the noise. We'll show you how to tell the difference between a harmless shiver and something to worry about. We'll walk through the 7 biggest reasons dogs shake, and most importantly, we'll give you an emergency checklist. That way, you'll know exactly what to do.
All right, first things first, let's decode what shaking even means, because it's not all the same thing. You've got the little shivers, then there's that big, satisfying shake-off they do, and then you have tremors, which are more rhythmic, and seizures, which are totally different. We're going to zero in on the shivers and tremors, the ones that really get us worried.
Okay, this is absolutely crucial. You need to know the difference between a tremor and a seizure. And honestly, it all boils down to one simple question. Are they there? If your dog is shaking, but they're still looking at you, they're responsive, they know what's going on, that's probably a tremor. But if they seem out of it, like they've lost awareness, that's a huge red flag for a seizure.
Okay, let's get right to it. There are 7 really common reasons why your dog might be shaking. We're going to start with the simple, totally harmless stuff, and then move into the things you need to keep a closer eye on.
So, reason number 1, and this is by far the most common one, is they're just cold. Yep, it's that simple. Just like us, they shiver to warm up. It's like their own little internal furnace kicking on. So if the air conditioning is cranked up or it's a bit brisk outside, that's probably all it is. A cozy blanket can often solve the entire mystery in like 2 minutes.
And you know what's funny? Some breeds are just built for it. And I'm looking at you, Chihuahuas and Yorkies. These little guys have engines that run super fast, a high metabolism, but not a lot of insulation, body fat. So they get cold really easily. For them, shivering is basically a personality trait.
And hey, it's not just the tiny pups. Think about those super sleek, athletic dogs like greyhounds and whippets. They're all muscle, with almost zero body fat to keep them warm. So even though they're bigger, they can get just as cold as the little guys, maybe even faster than a big fluffy dog would.
All right, cause number 2, big feelings. We're talking anxiety, fear, stress, all that stuff. It causes a big adrenaline rush, and yep, that can make them tremble. You've seen it, right? The fireworks go off, a thunderstorm rolls in, or you just say the word vet. All classic recipes for a case of the shakes.
But wait, it's not always about bad stuff. Number 3 is just pure over-the-top excitement. You know what I'm talking about. You walk through that door, and they are so happy to see you they literally vibrate. It's like their whole body can't contain the joy. That's a totally normal thing, and it passes as soon as they calm down a bit.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit, because now we're getting into some of the more serious reasons. Shaking can actually be a sign that your dog is in pain. And it could be anything, really. Arthritis, a bad tooth, even an ear infection. It's the body's way of reacting to that discomfort, and dogs are pros at trying to hide when they're hurt. So sometimes shaking is one of the only clues you'll get.
Next up on the medical side is something called hypoglycemia, which is really just a fancy way of saying low blood sugar. You see this a lot in tiny puppies, especially if they've missed a meal, and in some of those little toy breeds. They just don't have the reserves to keep their energy levels up, and when their sugar drops, they can start to tremble.
And speaking of specific breeds, this one's kind of wild. There's a condition that mostly affects small white dogs, like the Maltese or a Bichon Frise, and it's actually called white shaker dog syndrome. No, I'm not kidding. The good news is it's generally harmless, but you absolutely need a vet to diagnose it, just to make sure it's not something more serious.
Okay, number 6. This one is serious and it's urgent. Toxicity. If your dog gets into something poisonous, we're talking chocolate, anything with xylitol like sugar-free gum, or even some household plants, it can wreak havoc on their nervous system. This can cause some really bad shaking or even seizures. If you suspect this, it is a true drop-everything emergency.
And last but not least, number 7, are older dogs. If your senior pups suddenly start shaking, it can be a sign of age-related issues. Sometimes it's related to something called canine cognitive dysfunction, which is kind of like doggy dementia. Or it could be other neurological things that just pop up as they get older.
Okay, deep breath. We've talked about the whys, now let's talk about the what to do. This is the part where we figure out when shaking goes from, that's weird, to we are going to the vet right now. This is where you put the phone down and take action.
You need to be on the lookout for these red flags. If the shaking is happening along with other things, like they lose consciousness, they're struggling to breathe, their gums look pale, they're vomiting, or they can't even stand up, that is a 5-alarm fire. Something is very wrong. And listen, if you know they ate something they shouldn't have, don't even wait for the shaking to start. Just go. So here's a super simple mental checklist for you. 3 questions. 1. Is my dog conscious and aware? 2. Are they showing any of those big red flag symptoms we just talked about? And 3. Is there any possibility they ate something toxic? Your answers here will tell you exactly what to do next.
Think of it like a traffic light, okay? Super simple. Red light. You see any of those emergency red flags, you don't call, you just go. Straight to the ER vet. Yellow light. The shaking is new, or it keeps happening, but there are no other scary symptoms. This is when you call your regular vet and make an appointment. And green light. It was short. You know exactly why it happened. They were cold or super excited. Here, you can just monitor them at home.
All right, we know what to do, but you know what's just as important? Knowing what not to do. Because when you're panicked, it's so easy to do something with the best intentions that might actually cause more harm.
So here's your big don't list. First, don't ever get mad or punish them. They can't control it. Second, please never give them human medications. So many are toxic to dogs. Third, we said it before, but it's critical. Don't wait and see if you think they ate poison. Fourth, be careful with blankets. If it's a hot day, they could be shaking from heat stroke, and wrapping them up would be dangerous. And finally, Dr. Google is great for information, but your vet is the one for a real diagnosis. Always. Okay, let's boil this all down to a quick reference guide. If they're cold or scared, the answer is comfort. Remove the scary thing, give them a blanket. Simple. If you think they're in pain, time to schedule a vet visit. You suspect poison, that's an immediate call to the vet, or a poison hotline. And if you've got a senior dog with a new shake, that's your cue to book a wellness exam. See, you've got this.
You know, at the end of the day, after all the charts and checklists, there's one thing that's more important than anything else: your gut feeling. Seriously, you know your dog better than anyone on this planet. You know their little habits, their weird quirks. If your instinct is screaming that something is off, listen to it. Trust yourself.
So, there you have it. That's our whole breakdown, and it's all thanks to the amazing, super detailed guide put together by the experts at Doggozila magazine. We just wanted to bring their best advice to you, so you can feel prepared. So the next time you see your best friend start to shiver or shake, I hope you won't feel that rush of panic. Instead, you'll have knowledge. And really, understanding what they're going through, that's the best possible care you can give.